Hello and welcome to the MMA Live Chat Show. I'm Rich Davie and it's Sunday, May 25th, 2014. On today's show, we'll be discussing the UFC 173 Barao vs. Dillashaw event. We'll recap our predictions for the main card, and maybe we'll do a final thoughts segment if time allows. On today's show, we have yours truly, Damon Gazelle, and Jeremiah Deskins. Thanks for taking part in another show, guys. I appreciate you all taking the time to be here and joining me to discuss the UFC 173 Barao vs. Dillashaw event, and for taking the time to recap our predictions. Go ahead and say hello to anybody that might be listening, guys.
How's it going, Rich? How's it going, Jeremiah?
Hey, how you doing, guys? Thanks for having me.
Okay, guys. Thanks again for being here. All right, here's how we get on our predictions. Rich Davie, 4-1 with 25 points out of 50. Damon Gazelle, 3-2 with 21 points out of 50. And Jeremiah Deskins with 2-3 and 8 points out of 50. Let's get started here. UFC 173 Barao vs. Dillashaw took place Saturday, May 24th, 2014 on pay-per-view at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. And what an excellent card this was, and I was not expecting what happened in the main event at all. Let's go ahead and jump right into things here. Up first, the main event, Henderson Barao vs. TJ Dillashaw, the bantamweight champ versus the number 4 UFC ranked bantamweight fighter for the bantamweight title. And man, oh man, nearly everybody in the world of MMA underestimated TJ Dillashaw, most especially Henderson Barao. And this was pure domination by Dillashaw. Congrats to TJ Dillashaw for that phenomenal performance. And TJ Dillashaw defeats Henderson Barao by TKO due to punches in round 5 at 226 to become the new UFC bantamweight title holder. Comments, Damon?
Yeah, it was a dominant performance by TJ. Barao didn't look like himself at all in that fight. Not from the beginning. Yeah, I mean, he wasn't going for leg kicks. He wasn't doing anything. I mean, usually he's so aggressive, and he did not look that at all. I mean, it could have been Dillashaw's style, but, I mean, he's, favors another one of those fighters that moves around a lot. But, yeah.
I think it was the fact that he just locked him way early in the fight here in round 1, and he just never recovered from that because he clocked the shit out of him early on.
Yeah, but usually Barao gets off going way before that happened, and he wasn't really doing anything. And then once that happened, that changed the whole fight, of course. Yeah, but I've seen Barao rocked before. He was rocked. I believe he was shooting on McDonald, and got clipped and went to his knees.
Yeah, but this was, man, he went back on his ass and just sat down and looked up like, what the fuck just happened to me?
Yeah.
Even before that, I agree with Damon. He just didn't look himself. The intensity wasn't there. I don't know if it was the speed of Dillashaw, because it was on a whole different level, speed-wise. And I think it looked a whole lot the way he was fighting like Krause.
Yeah, well, DFW...
He's got a new style, man. This is the best he's ever looked.
I don't know. Dillashaw always is pretty elusive and stuff. He's a good fighter. I didn't think he was that good, though.
No, I underestimated him as well.
Well, DFW made the comment that, Dillashaw, if he came out like that, put the pressure on him, there was a good chance that he could win the fight. He said early on that whoever struck first and landed the heavy shot was going to win the fight. And he also said that Barao probably never, experienced anything like that, a shot like that early on like that to fight. So I think that's probably more than likely what it was. More than likely Barao probably underestimated TJ Dillashaw, which was a big mistake. And then when he got rocked like that, it just seemed to me like he just never recovered after that.
Yeah, I don't think he recovered after that. But like I said, man, he just didn't look focused or anything coming out. I mean, usually he's more pumped up when he's getting announced and everything else. And he didn't look like that.
What do you think? Do you think it was just total underestimation by him of Dillashaw or what?
I don't know. I don't know what it was. Barao did not look like himself to start that match. And but that doesn't take away from what Dillashaw did. I don't know if maybe he was underestimating Dillashaw. or what, but he did not look like the Barao that I'm used to seeing. I've watched all the fights they've got on Fight Pass earlier in the week, and he didn't look nothing like that coming into this fight.
Well,
So
it could be.
I have no clue. I mean, it could have been misunderestimating Dillashaw, which almost everybody that was picking the fight obviously did. But yeah, something just didn't feel right about that fight.
Yeah, I saw a couple of people out there on the interwebs. They were saying, "Oh yeah, I totally expected this to happen." Bullshit. Nobody expected that to happen.
No, Dillashaw looked great. I mean, I don't care who he's fighting. If you fight like that, you're gonna have success.
Well, they got a saying down south here. I think it was actually a combination of Henderson Barao actually underestimating Dillashaw, but I also think it was the southern saying where Dillashaw was all over Varao like stink on shit.
Yeah.
From the get-go, he came in, he wasn't defeated before the fight even started like most people is. He looked good, he felt good, and plus the shot that he took, that Barao took, he's got a hell of a chin. It knocked him clean across the fucking ring, and like I don't think he was there from 2 to 5.
Yeah. Well, when he
just
couldn't
didn't look
see
himself,
his eyes, when he got hit and went down on his ass, he looked up and his eyes were wide open like, what the fuck just happened?
Well, Herb Dean had to show him to his corner. He didn't know where the fuck he was at after round 1.
Yeah, that was a brutal shot.
Yeah, and DFW also said, well, you know, everybody has an off day, and Henderson Barao never had an off day until today, and today was his off day.
I mean, that could have been too. You know, I mean, everybody's got to lose eventually, and he was on like what 33 fight win streak. And
yeah, 7. Didn't he have 7 in a row in the UFC?
7 in a row.
He never lost in the UFC. I know that.
No.
His first loss was
his very first fight, wasn't it?
His very first fight.
Yeah.
I think he had a no contest or something in between there, and that's why the streak was only at 21 or 22 wins. But it was a 35 fight win streak. So it was something happened in between there that made it to where he was only on like a 21 or 22 fight win streak.
Does it get an immediate rematch?
No, definitely not. There's no way. Barao, 2 more fights, 2 more wins. He can fight for the title again. You know, God knows they give favor on title shots left and right, but not an immediate rematch. I mean, maybe even more matches than 2 if Dillashaw still has the belt after a couple of fights, because that's total domination.
Okay, and let me just recap here how we predicted this one to unfold here. Damon went with Barao by 7-2. He got 0 points. Jeremiah went with Barao by TKO 2, 0 points. And I also went with Barao by TKO 2, 0 points. So, unfortunately, we all got that one wrong, but I'm happy for TJ Dillashaw. Congrats to TJ Dillashaw for that phenomenal performance there, and just pure domination. Congrats to him. Any other comments on that one before we move on?
Yeah. Who do you guys think he should be matched up against next? I'm kind of thinking Michael McDonald.
I don't know. He done had his shot. I really don't have a clue who I was matching up with next. We were just talking about Holdsworth. He's in Team Alpha Male, right?
Yeah.
If he's in Team Alpha Male, you don't want Team Alpha Male fighting Team Alpha Male. Right away.
He's way down in the rankings. He's nowhere near.
Yeah. He needs at least 5 more fights, but I really don't know who they're matching up with next. I don't think it would be McDonald, though. He done got his shot. You got to bring some fresh blood in.
He had a shot against Barao.
Yeah, you see what happens when they bring fresh blood in when we got a new champion. I want to see somebody else fight.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not really good at playing the matchmaker. I mean, I know fights that I don't want to see, but I'm not real good at saying who should fight who.
No.
I'd actually like to see Faber versus Dillashaw. Just because they're both Team Alpha Male. And maybe then Faber will be able to get over his losing streak.
That's not going to happen, though, is it?
No, they're not gonna. They're not gonna put Team Alpha Male versus Team Alpha Male.
Yeah.
He looked happy, but you could tell he wasn't happy. Faber. He likes winning. He likes to be the center of attention. He definitely did not like that. They showed a freeze shot of them celebrating in the ring, and you could tell his face. He's the only one that wasn't fucking smiling. He hated it.
He was real excited when they were showing him in the stands, though. He was hanging on it when he saw him drop down in the first round there. He was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, since Joy Bang Ludwig is going.
Well, at least he wound up getting a champion for that for Team Alpha Male there before he moves on. That was his last fight coaching for them there.
Yeah, it seemed like there was actually some bad blood. Maybe not bad blood, but clashing of heads between Ludwig and Faber. Faber.
I don't know exactly what it was, but I know that Ludwig actually came out and made a statement on his site. I read it, but it escapes me right now exactly what that was. But let's move on to the next fight here. Daniel Cormier versus Dan Henderson. That was the number 4 UFC ranked light heavyweight fighter versus the number 6 UFC ranked light heavyweight fighter. And man, I thought this matchup would be more interesting than it was. And Damon even said to me, I don't think it's going to be as interesting as you think it's going to be. But I didn't expect Daniel Cormier to dominate Hendo so easily. I thought the difference in the weight between the two men would actually favor Cormier, and that the lack of the TUE for TRT might play a factor in this one. And it looks like that, in conjunction with Cormier's ability to just manhandle Hendo, was more than Hendo could deal with. I'm thinking after this one here that we'll probably see Hendo drop down in weight class for his next fight, because it looks like the fighters in the upper tier of the UFC light heavyweight division are just going to be too large for Hendo to effectively deal with there. And for those who don't know, there Daniel Cormier defeats Dan Henderson by submission due to rear naked choke in round 3 at 3:53. Comments on that one, Damon?
And man, to see Hendo get slammed is amazing, and not only once but twice.
Oh, he was just thrown around like a rag doll.
Yeah, he got ragdolled. Cormier, man, he's a beast, and they're both Olympic wrestlers. I knew Hendo's stamina was going to come into play, which it eventually did. But even I was impressed by Cormier's wrestling against Hendo. Hendo's a great grappler, great wrestler, and he was just getting schooled majorly by
Did
Cormier.
you notice how small he looked? I mean, in the octagon, those two men next to each other, they looked like they were two different divisions.
Yeah, well, he weighed in at 199.
I know, but just his whole physique just didn't look anything like it normally did. So, man, I guess that's what, like 2, 3, 4 months now he's been off the TRT, I would guess.
How long ago was the Hendo fight? Or the Shogun fight?
Fight.
That was what, only a month or 2 ago?
Yeah, he ain't been off of it long, but I bet he didn't have a good training camp being off of the TRT. He said in an earlier interview right before the fight that he felt tired. He's been tired through the whole training camp.
Yeah, he said that he did notice without the TRT that he found himself chilling out on the couch a little bit more.
Yeah,
exactly.
But I don't think he lost any muscle or anything like that. I just think...
Oh, Christ, he just looked so lean, man. When I saw him at 199, I'm like, wow.
But it went exactly like I thought it was going to go. It just lasted a little bit longer. I knew he was going to manhandle him. I mean, he was slinging him around like he wasn't even there.
Holy shit.
I hated to see it happen, but I knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, those suplexes and the way he's been dumping guys over the top of his head, it's like, whoa, I can't wait till he gets his hands on John Jones. I'm going to enjoy the hell out of that.
Well, Jones is going to have a 12-inch reach advantage on him, though. If he can get on the inside, that's going to be nice.
Yeah, but you got to remember, DC's been fighting heavyweights, man.
Yeah, if he gets in on the inside on John Jones, Jones isn't going to have a chance, because we saw, what Gustafsson did against Jones. So if Daniel Cormier gets inside on Jones, we're going to see John Jones getting ragdoll.
Yeah. Right.
I like that called him out after the fight.
Yeah, you got to remember, he's fought Bigfoot Silva, Bigfoot Silva, I don't know what his reach is, but I'm sure it's pretty close to 80 at least.
Yeah.
Well, we gotta see the Gustafsson Jones fight there. I mean, Gustafsson is already signed, and we're awaiting John Jones' signature on the contract. So it'll be interesting to see if he's looking to Doc Gustafsson. We'll find out within another week or so, I would imagine.
Yeah, that's going to be.
I hate to say it, but I hope he beats Gus. Just for the simple fact to see DC fighting.
But I think even if Gustafsson wins, I think DC's going to want to fight John Jones.
I think he is too, because he's been going through that whole disrespect with him, and you know, you're talking down to Cormier when Cormier's been nothing but cool. I mean, I was never really a fan of Cormier, you know, strictly for the fact that he really hasn't fought a whole lot of people. Yeah, in Strikeforce he looked good against some of the guys that he fought there, but I wasn't a big fan of him in the UFC here. But after the way that he threw around our buddy Hendo there, I gotta say, at this point, I do actually have one foot on the Daniel Cormier bandwagon at this point. But if he can ragdoll John Jones, I'm going to be a big fan of his.
Yeah,
I think DC will be.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of DC when he first came in to the UFC because of the Mir fight, and I thought that was a pretty boring fight. And you know, my brother was even last night. He's like, "Man, stand up with him." I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" I mean, that's Hendo's only chance is to land that right hand. And I said, "There's no way." DC would have to be a moron to actually try and stand with him.
Well, he did the right thing. He had the right game plan there, and he pulled it off, man. And again, like I said, the way he was ragdolling him in every which way was like, whoa, that was impressive.
Yeah,
like I told my neighbor.
Go ahead.
The only bad thing I see about Cormier is not really bad, but I just don't think he's got that killer instinct. If he had the killer instinct, he would be a damn beast, which he's already a beast. But a whole lot of times he could have finished Hendo a whole lot quicker than he did.
Yeah, I think he could have, but I think he was showing respect too.
Yeah, because he was a big, you know, he said he idolized Dan Henderson coming up.
You know, if you looked at DC, that was a wrestling match that wasn't boring. I mean, the way he kept every time Hendo would move. I mean, he would counter it, and you know, it was pretty badass. I mean, I believe that was a fight too, that when Hendo got up or something, he kicked his foot out and kicked him to go back down. It's like, get back down there, little fucker. Where do you think you're going? Where do you think you're going? Get back down.
Okay, let me wrap this one up here. Damon went with Cormier by decision, 4 points. Jeremiah went with Cormier by TKO and 1, 4 points. And I went with Cormier by decision, 4 points. So we all got the winner in that one correct, but we did not see that one ending in a submission. And again, Daniel Cormier defeats Dan Henderson by submission due to rear naked choke in round 3 at 3:53. Okay, let's move on to another fight. I mean, the whole card was pretty fucking phenomenal, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, except for the first fight, which it was phenomenal, but it sucked.
Okay, Jake Ellenberger versus Robbie Lawler, the number 5 UFC ranked welterweight versus the number 1 UFC ranked welterweight. And I was expecting this fight to be a little more exciting and to provide some fireworks, but other than a couple of shots by Ellenberger to Lawler in the 3rd round, it was just pure domination by Robbie Lawler in this matchup. And Lawler simply intimidated Ellenberger from the get-go, and I don't know, he just made Ellenberger look like he was way outclassed. And Robbie Lawler defeats Jake Ellenberger by TKO due to punches in round 3 at 3:06. Comments on this one, Damon?
Yeah, like I had said in the our prediction show, that at first I was leaning towards Ellenberger, and then I was looking back at Lawler's fights, and I'm like, nah, I think Lawler's actually going to get this one. He's been looking exciting. I mean, he's been stringing together, except for the loss to Hendricks, man. His wins have been impressive. He just made Ellenberger look like an amateur, which is surprising to do that to a high caliber fighter like Ellenberger. And dude's an exciting fighter too, and that's what people love.
Beast.
Go ahead, Jeremiah.
Yeah, I mean, he just punked Ellenberger. Ellenberger didn't want no part of Robbie. Like Damon said, the string of wins that he's put together, the people that he's beat, I mean, The only other fight that I see them making, and it'll be a dangerous fight for Robbie. I don't really want to see it, but it's probably going to be Matt Brown and Robbie.
I don't think so.
I believe they're trying to put that.
I don't think so. I think that fight last night earns him, the rematch for the title.
Title shot.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I would say it does. Yeah.
I think.
I thought the title match was actually it should have been an instant because of how good.
Exactly, and I think he actually gets to win this time.
Yeah, I do too.
Oh yeah.
I love Big Rig, but I love Robbie Lawler more.
Yeah, Lawler. I mean,
he's going to remember those shots he took.
I love seeing him laugh, and he's sitting there, and he looks like he's happy. He's fucking whooping ass, just laughing.
Even when he had his back taken, he was on the ground. He was smiling and laughing.
He's finally put it all together. He's not going in there winging punches, trying to finish him in the first round. He's using every tool. He's his stamina's good. Lawler's a damn beast, man. I've always liked Lawler. He's the next champ.
Yeah,
nobody beating him.
He's winging punches, but those punches are landing.
Yeah. I mean, and he the power. I mean, you could see the power that he had in
smart.
Yeah.
You could see the power he had in his punches. Just totally intimidated Ellenberger because he did not even want to engage. I mean,
yeah, not at all.
One thing he did in this fight that he should have done against Hendricks, he brought the kicks back. He should have threw those kicks against Hendricks. He didn't throw maybe 3 the whole fucking fight.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he practiced on that in his last training camp there because, like you're saying, he brought the kicks back.
Yeah, and I think that's what set the tone for that fight was him throwing those 2 leg kicks to begin with in the fight early on, and really made Ellenberger think, whoa, fuck, I got to watch out for that as well.
Yeah, so that's a good point, though, that Jeremiah brought up about Matt Brown. I mean, I don't think Matt Brown should go up against Lawler now. I think Lawler clearly earns the rematch for the title shot there. And again, like I said, I think he takes the title this time. But yeah, where does Brown go from here? Who would you guys match him up against?
Matt Brown?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They want Nick Diaz and Brown. Dana White done offered that fight. Said if Nick Diaz wants to come out of retirement and fight, then he can fight Matt Brown, who put that fight together. But Diaz done said he don't want to fight Matt Brown. Said he likes him. He's done turned that fight down.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
I don't know who to put Matt Brown against. I like Brown. He's on that winning streak, but after that last fight, I think somebody's gonna take advantage of those body shots that they've seen.
Yeah, that's what I was saying on that last show that we did about that. All right, let me recap how we did on this one here. Dana went with Lawler by TKO in 2, 7 points. Jeremiah went with Lawler by decision, 4 points. And I went with Lawler by TKO in 2, 7 points. So, again, we all did actually pretty good on that one there. But good fight there. Robbie Lawler defeats Jake Ellenberger by TKO due to punches round 3 at 3:06. All right, let's go on to the next one here. Takeya Mizugaki versus Francisco Rivera, the number 6 UFC ranked bantamweight versus the number 10 UFC ranked bantamweight. And it looked like Mizugaki was going to make quick work out of Rivera early on, but Rivera managed to overcome that early shot in round 1 and continue fighting, but ultimately the title belonged to Mizugaki. Takeya Mizugaki defeats Francisco Rivera by unanimous decision with the judges' scorecards reading 29-28, 30-27, and 30-27. I actually scored it 30-27. How did you score it, Dana?
Yeah, 30-27. I mean, Mizugaki, especially the first round, he did what I thought he was going to do. He was going to be the smarter fighter and come out with a decision victory.
Jeremiah, how did you score that one?
30-27 all day. I was wrong on my pick completely.
Yeah, well, it's really hard to say on that one there because, as we were looking at that one, odds makers had that as a slight favorite, but, the fans, they had Mizugaki as a huge favorite, but, you can't always go by that. Lots of times the fans, go with their heart rather than their head, but that happened to be an instance where they were more correct than the odds makers were there. The only round I saw that might have been, a 10-9 round for Rivera was round 2, but he came on strong early on in round 2, but he faded real quickly after that, and he pretty much gave up the round.
Yeah, Mizugaki, most of his wins have been by decision, and like I said, I just figured that he was going to do what he did and have a smart game plan and just fight pretty safe to win, and he did, man. Almost
I
actually
don't know if he
finished it in
fought
the
pretty
first.
safe, man. He was out there duking it out with the Rivera. I was surprised he was actually, going at each other. I mean, they were pretty much throwing bombs at each other there.
Well, he took some shots too.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say safe. Well, I did say safe, but what I mean, I think he was. He knows his skill set and what he can do, and I don't think he thought he was in any danger against the guy. He fucking rocked Rivera pretty good in the first.
No, yeah, I thought it was over, man.
So did I. And I was like, damn it, there goes another pick where I'm not getting many points.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like watching Mizugaki just because he is a little brawler, but he's a smart brawler.
And that's 5 wins in a row for him there. He's putting himself up there with the record setter there. It's 7-6-5, I believe, is what the record is in that division.
Yeah, he's 5. Sunsao is 6, and Barao 7, I believe.
Yeah.
Well, Browse is over now, so he's.
Yeah, so go back to that. What we were saying, who should fight Dillashaw? Sunsao, Wineland, Bruce Leroy, or Krause when he comes back.
Well, Wineland's pretty much out of the picture. He got knocked the
He
fuck out
lost,
last
yeah.
night, didn't he?
Yeah, and I also read that Bruce Leroy, one more win, they're talking like he might get a shot.
Yeah, but he's going up against Faber next.
Yeah,
I love that kid.
I like him too. I liked him on the show.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
I don't know why everybody didn't like him. I thought he was a really nice kind of fella,
Yeah, I liked him.
And coming out of Tough, I didn't think he was going to do all that well, and he did have a rough start in the UFC, but, man, that kid really turned things around for himself, and he's looking really good now.
Why didn't the Sunsao get this shot? Why did TJ get it over him? I can't remember what happened.
I think the Sunsao was isn't he on the injured list right now or something?
I think that was the situation, yeah.
I think so,
Because
I know.
he beat Dillashaw.
Yeah, he beat Dillashaw.
Decision win, but he still beat him.
He's got the second most wins in that weight class.
Yep.
So I don't know what I know on the interweb. That was the talk, was why did Dillashaw get the shot over him? But he might have been injured. I don't know. I haven't heard that.
I think it was something to do along those lines. I mean, that might be a good matchup to see if Dillashaw can avenge that loss there.
Mhm.
It'll be interesting. Let me recap this one here. David went with Mizugaki by decision, 10 points. Jeremiah went with Rivera by decision, 0 points. I went with Mizugaki by decision, 10 points. And again, Takeya Mizugaki defeats Francisco Rivera by unanimous decision with the judges' scorecards reading 29-28, 30-27, and 30-27. Okay, let's move on to the last fight that we did predictions on for the prediction show. V. James Krause versus Jamie Varner, the number 39 ranked lightweight versus the number 26 ranked lightweight fighter. And I was cringing while watching this fight. I don't know about you guys there, but watching Varner try to ignore that injury he sustained right away from that first low kick that Krause threw to Varner's lower calf and ankle area, and seeing Varner's ankle just fold every time he tried to put pressure on it was just gruesome. I was just cringing watching that.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, Jamie Varner actually broke his ankle, and James Krause got the TKO on there. The official result was James Krause defeats Jamie Varner by TKO due to an ankle injury at the end of round 1. But man, hats off to Jamie Varner for trying to tough it out like that. But ooh, God, that was just gruesome, man.
Yeah, incredible heart by Varner, but one of the most horrific reffing jobs I've ever seen. I mean, if you cannot see that he can't stand on that foot, I mean, that ref should have seen that immediately when he was buckling under his own weight, and he should have had the doctor called in.
Man, and the way that ankle was just folding, I mean, over and over, I was like, holy shit, how is he even standing on that?
Yeah, and me and my brother were like, what in the fuck is this ref doing? Why is he not not stopping the fight to have the doctor look at him. I mean, Varner, beast mode, still staying in there and almost very close to actually getting a win in the first with it. But
At his back.
But man, that ref either needs to be fired or told never to come back again.
That was the young guy with the
the Herzog or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
But I mean, you cannot not notice that when a guy is falling like that, trying to stand up and just stay on his feet, and he's rolling that ankle like that, and you're not doing something. I mean, that is poor reffing.
I don't know about you guys, man, but I'm serious, man. I was cringing watching that.
Oh yeah, dude, I've had a broken ankle. I know what it's like, and
I don't even understand how these guys can sustain that kind of pain, and the way that he was, trying to, just barely put any pressure on that foot at all. But every time he had a pivot on that foot, man, it just boom, it just rolled right over, man, and he collapsed, and it was like, oh God.
Yeah,
Still fighting.
I mean, I hope he didn't fucking do some permanent damage doing that. I mean, when you break an ankle, you need to stop and let the doctor. And then the doctor that came in steps on his foot when he comes over.
He'll step on his fucking ankle.
Insult to injury. I mean,
yeah, are you okay? Let me stand on your foot there for a moment. I'm sorry.
Varner was still doing good, though, man. He was beast mode, going for takedowns. He could have won that fight. He could have won that fight if not for the injury. Because he almost won it. He took his back. I mean, he was in good position, still fighting.
He's more than likely going to need pins and stuff in that ankle, and he probably did more damage to it than the initial damage that was done. Horrible way for a fight to end. Even more horrible for a ref not to notice what's going on and either stop the fight for the doctor to come in and look at it, or just stop the fight by looking and noticing that the ankle is broke because the fighter cannot stand underneath his own weight. Just horrible reffing.
Yeah. I'm sure, though, aren't they reviewing the? I know after the. Did you guys see the Tough last week with that dreadful call that they had?
I had seen something where Mizugaki took a point away for grabbing the fence, I believe it was.
I didn't think that was even the controversy. I thought the controversy was, he took the point away from the fighter, and the fighter wins the fucking round. I mean, how do you win the round in the fight when you had a point taken away from you?
It would have to be a 10-8 round.
Yeah, and even if it was a 10-8 round, it would have been a draw.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they actually instituted new rules for that, for the reffing, and what they're going to do now is whenever there's a ref, the group of refs for an event, they're going to assemble the refs after the event and recap how things went, supposedly is what the story is, and they're going to, try to learn from, any sort of issues or, controversies that may have arisen during the event so that the refs can sit down and say, oh, well, this is maybe what you should have done in that case, and so on and so forth. So maybe that's what will go on with this fella here after that. I agree with you. That was a pretty much a travesty that he allowed that fight to continue. And how could you not see that?
Yeah, I mean, you could tell his foot's rolling underneath his leg. I mean, it was so sickening. I mean, sickening to the heart to see Varner out there like that, but also proud for the guy for doing that. But still, I mean, in that situation, Varner needs to be smarter and say, hey, my ankle is broke since the ref isn't stopping it. And
he knew. I mean, he was just trying to cover it up.
Yeah, he was still trying to go at it, but man, he could have done some more serious damage to it. I mean, a broken ankle is nothing to mess around with.
Oh, no. It's painful as hell, too. Let's wrap this one up. Go ahead, Jeremiah. Take the last word on this one before we move on.
I still think Varner could have won the fight if he wouldn't have got hurt. And I feel sorry for him and hope it ain't no serious.
Yeah. Okay, let me wrap this one up here. Damon went with Jamie Varner by decision, 0 points. Jeremiah went with Jamie Varner by KO and 2, 0 points. And I was the only one that went with the James Krause. I went by 7-3, and I got 4 points. And wrapping that one up there, James Krause defeats Jamie Varner by TKO due to ankle injury at the end of round 1. And that ankle injury was actually a broken ankle from what we're hearing. All right, now I do want to recap the of the night bonuses and the performance bonuses. I thought they were kind of weird. I mean, I can understand why TJ Dillashaw got, the performance of the night and the fight of the night, but I it's hard to fucking rationalize, should that really have been fight of the night when Barao just got his ass handed to him through the entire fight and he winds up getting 50,000 bonus too? I mean,
I see every time they do that and they put that as fight of the night, and it's a dominant, a one-sided affair. That's just incredibly moronic.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying too. Because fight of the night would, indicate that both guys were actually in the fucking fight.
Exactly.
So. To give the guy $50,000 for getting his ass beat like that, that was the only issue I have with that. I mean, I understand why they wanted to give T.J. Dillashaw, the fight of the night, because nobody expected that except for Rashad Evans. He was the only one that came out publicly and said that T.J. Dillashaw was going to win. But I can understand wanting to give him, fight of the night bonus for that. But again, when you do that, you give $50,000 to the guy that got his ass beat when probably fight of the night should have gone to somebody else.
Yeah. Performance of the night, or one of the performance bonuses, but fight of the night, no. Right?
Yeah.
No.
One-sided affairs should never be fight of the nights.
Okay.
Brown gets paid for getting his ass whooped.
Yeah. Okay, and that Mitch Clark earned the performance of the night bonus as well for the submission of Ally Aquinta. That was phenomenal. Did you guys see that one?
Oh man, that was.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that to come from underneath to get that choke, the Dars. I think it was a Dars, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was some other kind of choke. It was I forget what they called it. It was some funky name.
But yeah, that I was totally surprised. I mean, it was kind of, he kind of got a reversal with the way he got it.
Yeah, it looks like he was well on his way to getting his ass beat.
Oh yeah, he was.
Yeah, well.
He was. That when he got him on the ground like that, and then was able to turn him and get that locked in, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I really don't like this new structure of the bonuses that they have. I mean, this politically correct performance of the night thing, because they don't want to call it submission and knockout of the night. That's just bullshit. I mean, let's call it what it is so we can start awarding the bonuses properly,
Well, I think they did that, instituted that when they had so many decisions going, and what they were trying to do is to get more people, more fighters to go out there and throw down to actually, try and help get more exciting fights. And what ended up happening is they're still just going with subs and KOs and TKOs. So it's a performance of the night, but it's still, they're still getting it for finishes when it should be. I mean, instead of fight of the night, a fight of the night, you could technically give performance of the night to both of them too.
Well, that's what I was saying. Pretty much fight of the night, performance of the night. Isn't that pretty much the same damn thing?
Same thing.
Exactly. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of dumb, but
what are your thoughts on that, Jeremiah?
I agree with y'all. I mean, it's the same thing, performance and fight of the night. But like I said, I don't agree with who they gave it to, but who else you going to give it to? Who else deserves it? Is it Lawler? Ellenberger?
I mean, but Ellenberger did come, and at the end, the third round, he did put on. Actually, had Lawler looked like him rocked.
He rocked him twice in that round, I think, but that was all that he rocked him in that round. But yeah, I would agree. That would probably be more fight of the night worthy than, the one-sided ass whooping that Dillashaw put on Barao.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was by far the worst performance by Barao, and that should definitely not have been fight by the night. Yeah, give definitely performance of the night to Dillashaw, but by the night it's not worthy of that.
Okay, let's wrap this one up here, guys. On a scale of 1 to 10, how did you rate that event overall?
Well, overall, that one I would actually probably give it a 7.
Really?
Yeah, mainly because of Varner getting injured, which unfortunately happened.
I think it's just sour grapes on your part.
No, I mean, there was too many one-sided affairs.
This was an incredible event. I mean, come on.
It was incredible, but the one-sided affairs kind of make it. They turned down the.
Come on, the main event factor. that was upset of the year more than likely, maybe even.
Oh yeah, it's one of the biggest upsets in UFC history. But I mean, when I look at an event, I want to see when I'm rating an event, the exciting fights is what gets on, and when you've got two complete what do you call
ass whoopings.
Two complete ass whoopings, Henderson and Barao. I mean, for me that brings it down a little bit. I mean, the last two we rated, I rated an 8. So a 7's not bad. I mean.
How about you, Jeremiah? How'd you rate that one?
I would give it an 8 just based on the main event and getting to see Lawler and DC on the same card. The performances they put on, I'd have to give it a solid 8.
Yeah, I'd give it an 8 or an 8.5. I mean, I thought that was a great event, man.
Oh, it was a great event, but
I mean,
the one-sided affairs.
Well, if I would have got a 5-0 pick on the main card, there, I probably would have given it a 9.
I was thinking, I was like, damn it, Rich, kicking everybody's ass. That Krause pick saved you. Pick saved you.
Yeah, that's rare. I don't always do the best, but every once in a while I get lucky.
Yeah. It was exciting, but the one-sided affair, the one-sided fights kind of brought it down for me.
Okay, guys, let's wrap things up here. We're at the end of the show. Thanks again for joining me, guys. We'll do another prediction show for the next event. And as always, you guys are welcome to join me for that one. But for now, it's time to say goodbye. So go ahead and say goodbye, guys.
Take it easy, Rich. Take it easy, Jeremiah.
Take it easy. Thanks for having me. And one last thought for Matt Brown's next fight, Woodley or Lombard?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to say Lombard.
Lombard.
Do what now? What was the question?
For Matt Brown's next fight, would you give it to Woodley or Lombard?
Well, since Woodley's going against McDonald, and I don't know if Lombard has a fight yet, I would actually go give Lombard it because there's already a fight for Woodley. So.
Yeah, he is already booked. I forgot about that. But Dana did say Matt Brown's got a big fight coming next, and style-wise, he's probably going to hook him up with Lombard.
Yeah, Lombard's a big fight.
Yeah.
That will be interesting. All right, guys. Thanks again for showing up. Appreciate you all being here, and we will see you next time.
Yeah.
You too, guys.
See you.
Bye-bye.